Okay, so if you're a coach today, you've definitely seen the explosion of digital platforms. It's been huge for our profession. But what if the very systems that helped us scale up are also kind of quietly chipping away at the very heart of what we do? Today, we're diving into this hidden risk. It's called depersonalization. This sentence right here, it just nails it. It points to this massive contradiction, right? How can something that's brought so much growth to coaching also pose a threat to its very essence? So let's really get into that. All right, first things first, we have to talk about this paradox. I mean, platforms like BetterUp and Coach Hub have been game changers. They've given coaching this incredible scale and, a new level of legitimacy. And that is a huge, huge win for all of us. I mean, just think about it for a second. These platforms took coaching from a niche service to a global phenomenon. They convinced big companies to actually budget for it, bringing coaching into boardrooms and making it just a normal thing in big organizations. And for coaches, that created real, tangible economic opportunities. So yeah, the upside is undeniable. But here's where it gets really interesting. This erosion we're talking about, it's not some evil plan. It's not like there's a flaw in the system that someone put there on purpose. No, it's actually a byproduct of the design itself, the very thing that makes all that amazing scale possible. The system, just by being what it is, creates the problem. So what is this thing? Well, it's a quiet systemic risk, and it's so important to get this. This isn't about blaming coaches or saying the platforms are bad. It's about the structure. It's baked into the system. The word for it is depersonalization. It's this subtle shift where the platform's design, well, it changes you. You go from being a unique professional, a person with your own style and presence, to being just a part of the machine, a function, a service unit, or worse, an interchangeable resource. This chart shows that shift so clearly. Look, you go from being a subject, a whole person, to being a function. Your professional presence, that unique thing you bring to the room, becomes a standardized service unit. And your identity as a relational being, well, that's in danger of becoming just another interchangeable resource. The human part gets kind of lost in the tech. So how does this actually play out? The source material points to three big drivers that are designed right into most of these platforms. It's all about how you're matched with clients, how the process is standardized, and really who gets the spotlight. Let's break those down. First, you've got the matching algorithms. Efficiency is king, so an algorithm often picks the coach, not a person. It replaces that natural human encounter. Second, standardization. To make something work at a huge scale, you need templates and metrics, but the really deep, meaningful work, that stuff is messy. It doesn't scale easily, and trying to force it can make the coaching feel thinner. And last, there's asymmetrical visibility. The platform's brand is everywhere, but the individual coach, your unique professional voice, your history, it's almost invisible. So, okay, what's the big deal? What's the real cost of all this systemic pressure? Let's talk about what's actually at stake here, not just for individual coaches, but for the entire profession. What's so crucial to understand is that this isn't some big, dramatic burnout. It's more like a slow, quiet fade. A coach's professional identity starts to feel weaker. They get this very specific kind of tired, an exhaustion that comes from navigating the system, not from the deep work with clients. And pretty soon, they might find themselves just complying, following the rules instead of making their own thoughtful, reflective choices. They might be practicing coaching, but they're not really inhabiting it anymore. And this really raises the stakes. A coach's presence, that ability to be completely 100% there with a client, that's not just some fluffy, soft skill. The argument here is that it's a moral stance. And when the system prioritizes speed and metrics over everything else, that presence is the first thing to get compromised. The work is in danger of becoming just a performance, not a real relationship. So, what do we do? Is the answer to just fight the platforms or quit? Well, no, not necessarily. The path forward that's proposed here is something deeper. It's about grounding your professional practice on your own terms, internally, so that you're not just defined by whatever system you happen to be working in. And this right here is a massive takeaway. The platforms are not going to fix this for you. They can't. Their whole design is built for scale, for efficiency, so the responsibility, it has to fall on the coaches themselves. It's up to us to actively protect and build our own professional identities. Okay, so how do you actually do that? How do you push back against that systemic pressure? The material lays out 3 core strategies for keeping yourself grounded as a professional. First, you build an identity that exists completely outside the platform. You do that by connecting with other coaches, finding a community, getting independent supervision. Second, you maintain a reflective practice. You have to keep taking that time to think deeply about your work and your craft, whether the system asks you to or not. And finally, you develop a public voice. You write, you speak, you contribute to the field. You do this so the platform isn't the only one telling the story of your work. You are. When you boil it all down, this whole issue comes down to a final, critical choice. And it's a choice that every single coach working on these platforms has to make, whether they know it or not. This is it. This is the heart of the matter. The problem isn't working on a platform. They provide incredible opportunities. The real danger is a kind of professional amnesia. It's forgetting your unique identity, your philosophy, what makes you you as a coach. Because the system is designed for interchangeable parts, it is absolutely no reason to remind you of who you are. And this visual just lays it out perfectly. This is the choice. Are we going to let coaching become just a scalable service, another unit of delivery? Or are we going to fight to protect it for what it truly is at its best, a unique, profound, and deeply human relationship? And that brings us to the final question this whole analysis leaves us with. The system isn't built to remind you of your unique value as a coach. It just isn't. So the question that's left for every single one of us is, how will you remember?